Good morning. This is Pastor Brian. Thank you for joining me as we read a chapter a day through the book of James. Today, chapter 3. I'll be reading from the Common English Bible, and feel free to follow along in whatever translation you have or like the best. It's always good to kind of see the slight differences of what God's Word is translated in the English. So join me as we take a look at chapter 3 today. My brothers and sisters, not many of you should become teachers, because we know that we teachers will be judged more strictly. We all make mistakes often, but those who don't make mistakes with their words have reached full maturity. Like a bridled horse, they can control themselves entirely. When we bridle horses and put bits in their mouths and lead them wherever they want, we can control their whole bodies. Consider ships. They are so large that strong winds are needed to drive them. But pilots direct their ships wherever they want with a little rudder. In the same way, even though the tongue is a small part of the body, it boasts wildly. Think about this. A small flame can set a whole forest on fire. The tongue is a small flame of fire, a world of evil at work in us. It contaminates our entire lives. Because of it, the circle of life is set on fire. The tongue itself is set on fire by the flames of hell. People can tame, and already have tamed, every kind of animal, bird, reptile, and fish. No one can tame the tongue, though. It is a restless evil full of deadly poison. With it, we both bless the Lord and Father and curse human beings made in God's likeness. Blessing and cursing come from the same mouth. My brothers and sisters, it just shouldn't be this way. Both fresh water and salt water don't come from the same spring, do they? My brothers and sisters, can a fig tree produce olives? Can a grapevine produce figs? Of course not. And fresh water doesn't flow from a saltwater spring either. Are any of you wise and understanding? Show that your actions are good with a humble lifestyle that comes from wisdom. However, if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your heart, then stop bragging and living in ways that deny the truth. This is not the wisdom that comes down from above. Instead, it is from the earth, natural and demonic. Wherever there's jealousy and selfish ambition, there's disorder and everything that is evil. What of the wisdom from above? First, it is pure, and then peaceful, gentle, obedient, filled with mercy and good actions, fair and genuine. Those who make peace sow the seeds of justice by their peaceful acts. And that is the end of chapter 3. So this is an interesting chapter. Lots of little topics that he kind of runs through. But I think the one about the tongue is most interesting. I don't know anyone that would really argue against that the tongue is a powerful tool. We see that at play in our churches. We see that at play in our politics, in our own country and around the world. The tongue is the thing that drives conversation, and conversation doesn't always happen to be the most kind thing that we do at times, especially when emotions run hot or we encounter someone or something or a situation that we just don't like or agree with. So it's important to think about and take care with what our tongue does. One of the things that I was told when I was a brand new pastor serving my first congregation, the bishop met with me and other new pastors, or just new pastors to the area. And one of the things that he told me that our group, that I'll never forget is that a pastor, and I'm changing it slightly to fit the text that we just read, has the ability, and here's the part I'm adding, with their tongue, to lift up or tear down the people in a congregation. What we say and what we do as people, and especially as leaders in the church, which James addresses at the very beginning of chapter 3, the things that we say and do, but especially more the things that we say, have a huge impact on others. And I think that it's something that is extremely important to think about as we go about our days, and especially in this time when people are so sensitive, not necessarily in a bad way, but we've become very sensitive about things. And so to be extra mindful of what our tongue produces. And so it talks about then wisdom. When we first started doing these daily Bible studies, I thought how important it was that we study all the wisdom literature. If you've been with me since the beginning, if not, go back and listen to those. We did Proverbs and Ecclesiastes and the book of Job, which I know all of you thought was a real hard one, and it was. But all wisdom literature. And here James says wisdom is what's important, coming from a mindset of from above, from heaven. And that wisdom from above is pure, peaceful, gentle, obedient, filled with mercy and good actions, fair and genuine. And those who make peace sow the seeds of justice by their peaceful acts. That's verses 17 and 18. Our tongue has so much potential. And James is saying, and I am saying, let's use that tongue to lift up and to love one another. So what did you hear? Which parts stuck out to you? What was most interesting to you? Write it down, share it with a friend, share it with us. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe, and God bless.